Hey, Chidarin! You were quicker than my Twitch loading the fact that I'm live. Okay, great. So I'm live. Let's go. Hey everyone. Hey there. Alright, let me just quickly... Yeah, sound is fine. Everything is fine. Let's go. Sorry about that. Let's read that again. Why is everything so slow? So weird. The study was in the middle of a lively party. It seemed that Gap was making fun of Virgilia, teasing her over some stupid triviality. They were spitting lia gap at each other. Of course they were. Kinzo and Ronoe had opened a new bottle and were enjoying the show.
Oh, 戻ったか。どうであったか、バトラのテストの結果は。マリアのテストは文句なしに合格点であったぞ。あやつを小娘とわしは長いこと侮っていたが、これはどうしていやはやなかなか。
It seemed like Kinzo was dead drunk. He laughed towards Beto with the same level of excitation as the time they'd left for the tests. However, Ronoe and Virgilia instantly noticed a change in her enthusiasm. Gap also froze her expression and went silent.
どうしたベアトリーチェよ、我が最愛の魔女よ。酒が足りぬか、魚が足りぬか。土砂降りを浴びながら牛でも丸焼きにしようか。おお、悪くない。ロノウェ、早速準備をせよ。ベアトリーチェよ、バトラのテスト結果は後だ。まずはスペアリブで乾杯といこうではないか。
お前が丸焼きになるがよい。
何?
As Kinzo doubled over laughing in a great mood, the witch who had spoken bluntly passed him coldly by. Then, behind the witch's back, the old summoner's body suddenly went up in flames. Eh? Okay. Hi, Dezo. Hi, Yaya. I bring back hopium canisters full and nothing wrong can happen. Oh, God, it's okay, keep the hopium. We all need it. Like, what the heck? I can't believe what I'm seeing. And it's not that she hasn't done it before. But it was so unexpected. Like, for a moment I was doubting what I was reading. Like, does it mean what I think it means? Yes, it does. And isn't this the first time we ever see this, like, fully, like, animated and stuff? It's so weird. I hate the sound because it's the bacon in the pan sound effect. Okay, let's move forward then. While spitting crimson flames from his eyes, mouth, nose, every hole in his body, Kinzo rolled around. Even though it was a terrible hellfire, it didn't burn anything except Kinzo. Kinzo didn't have a clue what was going on. He rolled around, unable to understand why Beatrice, who had been in such a good mood, had suddenly turned so cold. The dancing silhouettes of witches and demons created by that massive rolling torch looked like a group of excited spectators around the burning at the stake. However, the eyes of the demons watching over it were indifferent. When Kinzo finally stopped moving, the fire disappeared, leaving a pitch-black corpse. The inside of the room was commanded by the stillness of the sound of the rain.
どうなさいましたか、お嬢様。
今日が冷めた。 その邪魔な燃えかすを片付けよ。
Beatrice's expression was unbelievably apathetic. There was an iciness there that told the others that they risked the same fate as Kinzo if they annoyed her.
ええ、私が片付けるわ。
Gap made the jet black pitfall swallow up Kinzo's cinders. If she hadn't carried that out quickly, Gap might also have been burned. You could feel that thirst for blood. No, a thirst for blood probably isn't the best way to describe it. Just like humans don't have any particular emotion when they step on an ant while walking. That was how much, unconsciously and mercilessly, Beato was now filled with a brutal emptiness that wouldn't hesitate to bury a passerby.
どうしたのです、ベアト。答えたくない。いや、答えるのももはやめんどくさい。どうしたのよ、らしくもなく。何かあったの？バトラが何か
Beatrice hadn't even responded. It seemed that she had even ignored it. But there was a change in Gap. From her feet, a cracking sound rose, like thin ice breaking. And in an instant turned Gap into a glass sculpture.
ガップ。しばらく消えろ。大変に不機嫌だ。
Beatrice spoke in a truly cold voice, which froze the heart just to hear it.
かしこまりました。それでは私どもはこれでおいとまさせていただきます。何かございましたらいつでもお呼びを。
After a single bow, Ronora turned into a cloud of gold butterflies and hid himself. Regina turned Gap from a sculpture into a group of gold butterflies and then turned into a cloud of them herself, which mixed in with the others and disappeared. In the study made untidy by drinking, Beatrice stood still, alone. Since the time she had returned, her expression hadn't changed in the slightest. However, when she saw the fallen empty wine bottles and scattered cheese plates, her brow furrowed and she looked a bit displeased. And when she whispered disappear, in that instant the room flashed and was tidy again, as though nothing had ever happened. The reception chairs were neatly arranged and there was no wine or cheese. There were no stains where things had been spilled, nor was there any scattered trash. To the contrary, even the air had frozen over, and enough to make one doubt whether so many noisy people really had been in this room until just moments ago. The study had returned to total silence. In that silent, rigid study, where even the air had frozen, Beatrice stood still. Then, she called him in a mutter.
バトラ、いるか？
さっきからいるぜ。
Oh, this is so weird.
何なんだ一体お前は。さっきから変だぜ。
変に見えるか？
Now she's crossed over, okay.
それはすまぬな。
あれだけ上機嫌に酒を酌み交わしていたクソジジイをいきなり焼き捨て、お前の友人の悪魔女もガラスの彫像、悪魔の執事もお師匠も消えろの一言でさっさと出てけだ。お前どんだけ気まぐれでわがままなんだか。
バトラ、
何を？
わらわはもう飽きた。
はあ？そりゃまあお前が追っ始めたゲームだぜ。飽きてくれて助かるってもんさ。つまるところ投了ってわけだな。
投了などではない。ただ終わるだけだ。いや、終わりもしない。このままゲームが永遠に放棄されるだけだ。
そういうのを投了って言うんじゃねえのかよ。いや、飽きて放り出すって言葉がお前にはぴったりだな。
その通りだ。飽きたから放り出す。あとは知らぬ。そのまま放置されて、好きに埃でもかぶればいい。
お前、どうしたんだ？なんだかさっきからやりにくいぜ。まださっきのわけのわかんねえテストのことで、尾を引いてるのかよ。
I guess, GG, let's all go home. It's done, it's over.
俺に恨みがあるなら、はっきり言えばいいじゃねえか。お前は赤で、自分とは関係ないなんて言ってみせたが、どうせ言葉遊びだろ？お前の顔に書いてあるぜ。俺を恨んでるってな。
お前に恨みなどないと何度言えばわかるのか。わらわはそなたが罪を残したその当時に存在しておらぬ。
As Beato spoke with an irritated expression, her face twisted to look even more displeased. Fickle, inconsistent, moody, temperamental, selfish and simple-minded and cruel. But even so, she had never shown an expression as strange as this, even once before now.
ま、お前がふっかけてきたゲームだ。俺も決着がつかねえのは残念だが、気が向いたらぜひまた誘ってくれよな。その時は謹んでご辞退させてもらうけどよ。
Beto rage quits the game. GG, good luck next. He intentionally spoke in a teasing kind of tone, but Beto showed no reaction. Battler hung his head and clicked his tongue.
何度も何度も10月4日と5日をぐるぐる過ごしたわけだが、ようやくこれでお役御免だな。これであさってには船が来る。そうさ。そして船着き場には海猫も戻ってくる。俺はようやく六軒島名物のあのニャーニャーいう鳴き声を聞けるわけだ。何しろ島に来た時は天気のせいか全然いなかったからな。海猫の鳴く頃に全ては終わるってわけだ。
Yes, yes, he said the thing. Yeah.
終わり終わり。おしまいおしまい。せいせいすら。
何を？そなたは勘違いしておるのか。
ん？何をだって？
何も終わらぬとわらわは言ったぞ。これにて全ては放置される。ゲームは忘れられ、盤上の駒はそのままに放置される。進みも戻りも取りも取られもしない。勝ちもなく負けもなく引き分けすらもない。ただ放置されるのだ。
つまりはおしまいってことだろ？
違う。わらわの手番にて永遠にゲームが止まる。そなたの番は来ない。だから勝ちも負けも引き分けもない。
Oh yeah, yeah. Ay, ay, ay.
かつてのわらわはそなたにそうされるわけにはいかなかった。そなたに勝つという目的があったからだ。しかしそれに興味を失った。だからこれ以上手番を進める意味が。
俺に手番が来ないというのはどういう意味な？
I thought that Beato getting tired of the game meant I'd be released and I'd be able to escape Rokkenjima. No, it means you're trapped there forever. But for some reason, the meaning of Beato's repeated words about the difference between abandoning the game and settling it was starting to bother me. Just what has she been saying and why the bad mood? Suddenly I heard a voice from behind me. When I turned around, there was someone I thought I might or might not remember from somewhere. A mysterious girl with no light in her eyes was standing there.
その子が言っているのはこういう意味よ。
Chittarin is the happiest. Oh, Chittarin.
このゲームが駒をそのままに蓋を閉じられるということ。ゲームは終わらないまま永遠に
It's been
止め
10
置かれる。
streams. Oh my god, Chittarin counted.
あんたが元の世界へ戻ることのできる唯一の方法は、ベアトに勝利することだけ。つまり、ベアトがゲームを放棄しちゃうってことは、わかる？
Suddenly, in another place, there was a girl wearing a bright pink dress. I had a feeling I'd met her somewhere too, but I couldn't remember. More important was the meaning of the words she said. The game being abandoned means... Huh?
そういうことよ。勝負は敵味方が揃わなきゃ決着しないわ。あなたにはもう永遠に勝利してこの世界から抜け出すことができないということよ。
さしずめ、あなたを閉じ込めた檻の鍵を、鳩の首輪にでもくくりつけて飛ばしてしまうようなものかしら。冗談じゃないわ、ベアト。そんなつまらないゲームを見に、私たちははるばるここまで来たわけじゃないのよ。これでゲームをお開きなんて冗談じゃないわ。
ラムダに同じよ。私はバトラを勝利させ、あなたを敗北させて、のたうち回らせるためにやってきたのよ。まだその目的を達していない。こんなところでゲーム放棄されて、逃げ出されたんじゃたまらないわ。今日らを失望させるゲームの幕切れとなったことは認めよう。しかし、この茶会のホストたるわらわは、何しろ気まぐれ。今日が覚めればもてなす術など知らぬ。もとより、それがわらわの魔女たるゆえんのはず。
Hey, Lunar Festival.
何も問題はなかろう。確かに、あなたの競技には反しないわ。
私は認めないわよ。ふざけんじゃないわよ。あんたにどんだけ肩入れしたと思ってんのよ。ここまでお膳立てさせて、これではいおしまい。ふざけんじゃないわよ。
わらわは飽きたと、そう言っている。それ以上も以下もない。
そうはいかないわよ。あんたにはこのゲームを続けてもらうわ。バトラーに勝利したいんでしょ？勝って屈服させたいんでしょ？もう一息じゃない。ね
え。そこで俺に振るんじゃねえ。ただ、俺にも意見はある。言わせてくれ。
何か。
こいつは、お前に売られた喧嘩だ。俺はお前とはっきり白黒をつける覚悟がある。何度か屈服しかけたが、途中で逃げ出して、勝負をうやむやにして逃げるつもりだけはさらさらねえ。俺がここにいて、戦う意志を見せている以上。逃げるんじゃねえ。ベアトリーチェ。
I quite unsurprisingly feel nothing. I don't feel anything either positive or negative necessarily. I just feel a big fat nothing. And this is all the consequence of the previous episode. Because I have no intention of falling for Beatrice getting seriously, I don't know, upset, invested in something that's, I don't know, supposed to be important or supposed to make us want to decipher it. I'm just gonna sit back and just see how it unfolds. Don't really feel whichever way about it.
同感だわ。
I was gonna ask, where is NJ and all of this? There she is.
バトラを巻き込んでおいて、勝ちも負けも与えずに立ち去るなんて、無責任にも程がある。
Suddenly, even Gretel was there. Still got that PTSD, of course. And everyone was criticizing Bato for being irresponsible.
ほう。
I think the novel would have to give me quite a consistent piece of something important backed by, I don't know, something that actually convinces me. And it would have to go very, very far to convince me. So until that happens, I am quite ambivalent, I guess, towards Beatrice. I'm just, okay. She's like this now. She's gonna be different later. Alright, let's just roll with it.
どうやらわらわが無責任だと罵られる最大の理由は、バトラが対戦相手としてとどまっているからということらしい。ならばバトラ、お前もまた、わらわと同様に対戦相手を降りてくれぬか。それでなら、わらわは批判されることもない。
Who needs love when you have Umi pain? Hey, small blue gem. You mean I don't have love for Beatrice right now? No, not really. Not really. I need some solid ground to stand on for that feeling to manifest itself. And I have nothing but just exactly how Butler described her earlier, and particularly the fickleness and the vagueness and the whole I don't know, holier than thou, I know so much more than you kind of attitude. Okay, sure, we'll take it. Like I said, I'm not necessarily feeling negatively towards her. I'm just detached. Yeah, detached is the right word.
俺が降りると、六軒島を出られるのか？
出られるわけもなかろうが、勝手に誇りを浴びて肩にでも積もらせよ。
ふざけないで。なんて無責任な人なの？あんたはこれだけ大勢の人間を殺した。しかも魔女の力によって何度も何度もむごたらしい殺し方で、その責任を取らず逃げ出すなんて絶対に許せない。
責任。ほう。わらわはどのようにしてその責任とやらを取ればいいのか。
決着をつけるまで戦いなさい。バトラは正面の席に座り、あなたに打ち勝つまで決して諦めずに戦う。だからあなたも任されるまで戦いなさい。それが嫌ならバトラを任せてみせなさい。許さない。すべてをうやむやにしてバトラをこの席に放り出して永遠に閉じ込めて返さないなんて許さない。
グレーテル。
To be perfectly honest, I didn't really understand from what standpoint Gretel was trying to save me. But in her words, I could feel a strong determination to save me from this crazy game world, no matter what. So, I also responded to that.
ベアト、こっちを向け。
Yes, yes, hi.
俺はここにいる。お前の正面のライバルの席だ。わかるな。俺がここに座り続ける限り、お前に逃げは許さない。だから逃げるな。戦え。
Beato is somewhat hard to understand indeed. That's the understatement of the century.
お前が始めた戦いだろうが、これだけ何度も何度も上等を決めやがって、しっちゃかめっちゃかにやってくれたんだ。今さら秋田で終わらせられるかよ。俺はお前の対戦相手だ。俺がここにある限り、逃げるなんて許さねえぞ。聞いてるのか、この無責任魔女め。なんとか言ってみろってんだ。
I have nothing. I think I have also gone past the point of being overly, like my mind being overly saturated with all of these open directions into darkness, into various kinds of darkness that's supposed they're supposed to tie together somehow, but I don't know. And after all of this time, 43, this is the 43rd stream of it. I'm also not very confident in my ability to keep everything fresh in my mind, so I'm just okay. Just seeing what the novel throws at me. and mostly waiting to see how I feel about things at the end of this episode. He has broken the Netsumi brain already. I'm having the classic Umineko experience. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. Have I written anything down? No. But I do have Bear in chat, who's very kind and gracious to post the red truths and more recently some blue truths from Battler in our Discord channel. So those are pinned there. Sometimes I go and reread them, but nah. Wait, I need to allow this comment. There we go. I can understand that. Yeah, we've talked about it in the past. I understand there's people with different preferences and personalities and inclinations, and there's a whole bunch of you who just like your brain immediately ticks at this. Like it's an instant itch that you need to scratch and figure out and so on. I'm not really like that. I'm more mellow. So I debated actually at some point, at various points, mostly off stream, just thinking to myself if I should go, okay, let's make some notes, let's try to do this and that, but I want to sit down here and just have fun and disconnect from, you know, the other things that are happening in life and work and, you know, a bunch of other things that are chores, right? I don't want to turn this into a chore if I don't innately feel it. So I have not done that. I haven't gone that way. I have never been as engaged with a piece of meat as I was when I first read Umineko last year, man. Alright! This is very cool. Are you referring to what's being said in chat or to how I'm experiencing it? Just to make sure that I'm understanding the right thing. Right, so after I yelled at her, Beto went silent for a while. Oh, I clicked away from the game. Whether my words had reached her or whether she was thinking about something completely different, I couldn't tell. How I am. Alright. It's fine. Enjoyed the ride, it's an amazing one. Oh, thank you, thank you. I will definitely do that. Right, so whether my words had reached her or whether she was thinking about something completely different, I couldn't tell. But for a while, she was silent, gazing at me with an expression I could read no emotion from. And when she realized that I noticed, she averted her gaze. Then she turned her back to me and said this. What is she gonna throw at us now? バトラが対戦相手をやめてくれぬ以上、このゲームを放棄することは認められぬと。ならば問おう。そもそも、そこにいる男に、わらわの対戦相手たる資格があるのかどうかを。We're stooping this low, huh? About this, I do have a lot of feelings. Don't you dare put down Battler like this. Don't you dare. No. No, 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 no.
資格?
No.
当然。さっきのテストとやらのことだぜ。
Best time to think about Umineko is between episodes 4 and 5. Alright.
何をする気?
あんたまさか。
これより、そなたにわらわの対戦相手たる資格があるかどうか、それを問う。
Now I'm annoyed.
よいか、バトラ。その資格が認められれば、わらわは席にとどまり、ゲームを続けよう。
If he was never qualified to be your opponent, why were you so intent on making him your opponent and on making him submit to you? Only now, like over 100 hours in, you're like, maybe you were never qualified to be an opponent. What is this? What?
そして、勝敗の決着がつくまで、永遠に戦い続けることを約束しよ
う。Women. Is it gonna be just another test? Another ridiculous thing? Oh god.
俺にはもとより、その覚悟はあるぜ。
しかし、 その資格がなかったなら、そなたは消えよ。
How convenient for her to make all of the rules. Just like that. She's gonna throw something incredibly ridiculous at him. Just wait for it. 3, 2, 1.
対戦相手が消えればゲームもない。わらわは堂々とここを立ち去れる。今日らもよろしいか。口出しは無用。
どうぞ、お好きなように。
バトラー、あんた、しっかり答えるのよ。
Given what we've been dealing with so far, I can't help but roll my eyes. But okay, let's see what this is.
資格があるからこそ、俺はここにいるんだろ。何も怯えることなんざねえぜ。
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as being this cocky, but okay, I understand. He's Rudolph's son. It rubs off. It's genetic in a way. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
まさか。
Gretel grew suddenly pale. I thought her to be the calm, collected type, so her expression surprised me.
それではバトラ、赤で復唱してもらおう。
え？
お、俺に復唱要求ってか。俺のお箱を奪いやがって。しかし、赤き真実って俺でもでき
Yeah, I
るの
was
か？
about to say, what does it mean if Battler says something in red?
どうやるんだ？
そうだと念じればできるわよ。簡単よ。
俺の名は後宮バトラ。おお、こりゃ面白えや。
Okay.
やめて。
The goat trivia will be handy, maybe?
あんたの狙いは読めてるわ。でもそれはやめて。
Okay, dramatic music.
彼は
When Gretel yelled, Beto glared at her. Then her form was wiped away in an instant.
うるさい。そなたはしばらく席を外せ。
Oh my god, I'm scared.
今日らもであるぞ。口出しをするならば容赦せぬ。
邪魔はしないわ。どうぞご自由に。
ベルン、まずいでしょうが。あいつ消す気よ、バトラを。
なんだと？あいつ、何を企んでやがる。
それでは資格を問うぞ。面白いな。
Hey, Fetch Face Beats. Yeah.
普段のゲームが
I don't
攻
know.
守が逆になった。これは最後の最後でとても貴重な体験だ。良いか。心してまずは聞け。まずはわらわが赤で語る。
Oh god.
わらわは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチ。
In Mother Russia, you don't deny witches. Witches deny you. I mean, sure, that's a good one.
そして後宮金蔵の孫後宮バトラと戦うためにこのゲームを開催した。
そんなことは知ってるぜ。だからなんだ？
副賞要求。後宮バトラの母は後宮アスムである。
ああ？そこでなんでおふくろの名が出てくるんだよ。
無駄口はいらぬ。ただ赤で副賞せよ。
Beato urged me with the same indifferent tone, but I don't have a clue what she's trying to do. I've done absolutely nothing wrong that I'd hate to be confronted with, and there's nothing that I'm hiding. There's nothing she could demand for me to repeat that would cause me any trouble. I would be on my guard, regardless. So why something like this?
いいぜ。復唱する。後宮バトラの母は 後宮アスムである。赤便利だな。戸籍抄本を持ってくる面倒もね
え。無駄口はいらぬ。続けるぞ。そなたの名は後宮バトラであ
る。おう、俺の名は後宮バトラだ。
I don't like this. I don't like this. Anything that looks very simple and straightforward on the surface, run. Don't trust it. This is my conclusion after reading over 100 hours of this. Everyone is hyped. Oh god.
後宮バトラは後宮アスムから生まれた。
Why is this being called into question? What?
後宮バトラは後宮アスムから生まれた。
そなたは後宮アスムから生まれた。
俺は後宮
All of a sudden, my throat closed. I was suddenly assaulted by a shortness of breath that felt as if I had been choked. But what's going on? One more time.
俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。くそ。俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。なんだ。さっきまでは簡単にできてたのに、急に赤がうまくでき。
副将を拒否するのか。
拒否なんかじゃねえ。なぜかうまくいかねえんだ。俺は後宮アスムから生まれた。なんでだ。畜生、なんで赤が使えないんだ。そんなバカな。
My mom is Shiromiya Asuma. Why can't I say that fact in red? What's going on? This is...
語れぬ赤を無理に語ろうとすると窒息するぞ。無理をしなくてよい。以上の事実からわらわはそなたを青で追求させてもらう。覚えているな。青は相手を否定する仮説を宣言するのに用いる。それは赤での否定が義務付けられ、それがない場合勝利となる。では参るぞ。以上の復唱要求並びに復唱拒否からわらわはそなたに対戦相手の資格がないことを宣言する。なぜならベアトリーチェは後宮金蔵の孫である後宮バトラと戦うためにゲームを開催したからだ。よって対戦相手であるそなたには後宮金蔵の孫である後宮バトラであることを赤で宣言する義務が生じる。それに対する復唱をそなたは拒否した。これは資格の喪失を意味するものである。
赤でそれの何かを否定するのよ。早く。
I am beyond confused. He is Kinzo's grandchild because he is Rudolph's son. What does that have to do with his mother? Huh? Okay, I'm glad everyone is so hyped. I don't understand anything.
ああ。俺は後宮バトラだ。それを赤で復唱できている以上、俺はお前の対戦相手のはずだぜ。
そなたが後宮バトラの名を持つことは事実である。しかし人命は独占されたものではない。複数の人間が後宮バトラを名に持つことは可能である。すなわちこういうことだ。そなたは後宮アスムの息子後宮バトラと同姓同名の別人である。
なんだと。バカなこと言うんじゃねえ。俺はお袋の子だぞ。
I feel like I'm really missing something here, because why can't he just say that he's Rudolph's son? Rudolph's is Ginzo's son, so he's Ginzo's grandchild. Case closed. Why is it so focused on his mother?
後ろ宮アースムの子だ。俺は後ろ宮アースムから畜生、なぜだ。
There's just too many things mixed in one.
なぜ俺がおふくろから生まれたと言えないんだ。こんなバカなことがあるというのか。
苦しむことはない。わらわは遊ばぬ。これにてチェックメイトだ。そなたは後宮アスムの息子ではない。
そんなバカ。
そなたは誰？後宮バトラーを名乗る何者なの？
ちょっと待てよ。俺は後宮バトラだ。俺は後宮アスムから生まれた親父とおふくろの息子だ。
いいや、わらわの対戦相手たる後宮バトラであるはずがない。その証拠に。
証拠だと？
そなたは6年前の罪を知らない。
それは。
いいや、真の後宮バトラならば罪など犯さない。だが結果的に罪は起こり、6年の月日が空白となって、当時を何も知らぬ男が後宮バトラを名乗って六軒島へ姿を現した。その真相はこうだ。
6 years ago, the true Shiromiya battle, qualified to be my opponent, was already dead. You were involved in a plot by Rudolph having something to do with distribution of the inheritance. A body double set up in Shiromiya battler's place.
そんなバカなことがあるもんか。そんなバカな
バトラ、しっかりしなさい。
まあ言い返せないなら仕方がないわ。バトラにその資格はなかった。そういうことよ。
ベル、それでいいの？それを認めちゃったらあんたも負けちゃうのよ。
あんたは勝っちゃうんでしょうが、なんでバトラの肩を持ってるの？残念よバトラ。あなたにベアトリーチェの対戦相手たる資格がなかったなんて、とても残念。私も迂闊だったわ。資格のない駒に貼ってたなんてね。私の乾杯だわ、ベアトリーチェ。
Somehow I don't believe any of these sentences coming out of Vern's mouth. She doesn't strike me like the kind of person who just accepts, oh well, I guess I lost. In this way.
負けも勝ちもない。ただ対戦相手が消えるだけだ。元からいなかったと言うべきか。
じゃあよ、俺は誰なんだよ。俺は親父やおふくろの子じゃないのかよ。俺は誰なんだ。何なんだ。おふくろの子じゃないってんならなんだよ。縁もゆかりもない赤の他人の子だとか、そう言い出すのかよ。
それならば金蔵の血は引いていないことになるね。いずれにせよ そなたにこのゲームの対戦資格はない。
バカなバカな。
もうよい。もともとそなたが後ろ宮バトラでない可能性も多少は承知していたのだ。だから問わねばならなかった。本当のバトラなら知っていることを聞かねばならなかった。残念だ。そなたがひょっとしたら本当に後ろ宮バトラであるかもしれないとわらわも1000兆分の1の奇跡にかけた。
Doesn't knows how to read me well by this point.
だがやはりそなたは同姓同名の別人だった。
Bit by bit, Battler's form began to be clouded in darkness. Okay, I will not say what I'm thinking, I'll just read. Now, maybe it was the other way around. The whole world was becoming clouded in darkness, leaving only Battler behind. Battler was down on all fours, hanging his head and repeatedly questioning himself. Yeah, it's exactly that. Somehow it seems to be Beatrice's obsession to just find the most ridiculous ways in which to make him question himself or his judgment, now his whole existence, and just bring him down. In a way, maybe even having him erase himself because he no longer knows who he is, somehow, in the confusion. It's such a low blow, it's so... ugh. However, he would never be given an answer. In the world stained with darkness, Bato spoke something and Lambda Delta ran up to Bato, yelling something very quickly. But it already seemed very far away and it didn't reach his ears. No, see, that was so long ago, I don't remember. Then he, not knowing who he was, erased himself. There it is. That's what I was thinking. Battler.exe stopped working. I wouldn't call that a mistake. This thing is huge. You have other things to do in life. I've been streaming exclusively this. It's been almost half a year. I don't think I'm even halfway through. So, yeah. Rudolph mentioned several times that he had something important to tell Battler and that he might be killed because of it. I do remember Rudolph mentioning that he believes he will be killed in episode 1. That's something that I do remember. I don't really remember specifically that he had something to tell Battler. I think he said that... didn't he say that to Kirie? I have the feeling he said that to Kirie. That's what the part that I remember. I think in episode 3 Rudolph talked about what happened when Ayumu and Kirie were both pregnant. I mean, that was a crazy situation and we were drip-fed information. That's the whole thing about it. You're drip-fed information about the same thing at completely disparate moments and times, and it's very difficult mentally to hold up all of the little puzzle pieces that don't yet fit together for each puzzle game that this novel brings up, because it's not just one, it's like multitudes. So yeah, you lose some of them along the way because the human mind is just, at least not mine, okay, is not made to hold up all of this without it being connected, right? Because if there were ways in which to easier connect it to something or somehow, like, your brain would have an easier time finding it. But anyway. To be honest, I don't want a real battler. I want this battler because this is the battler that I have come to love. I don't care if there is another battler. That battler is not qualified for me. 20 plus mysteries at the moment, not an accurate count. Battler Blanco. Battler fans contemplating trumping the VN. I'm also not too quick to jump onto believing anything without more substantial things. Boo-hoo, there was some red truth shenanigan mechanics going on. Okay. I need something more solid than that. Before I forsake Battler. No way. No how. Okay, what did I miss something? This whole situation is a big mystery. I mean, it's a series of mysteries upon mysteries, all stacked. And somehow something that's at the bottom of the stack is supposed to be connected to something at the top of the stack. Yeah, good luck. Have fun. Do we have NJ? Because we haven't seen her in a long time, and even now when we did get to see a little bit of her, Beatrix just smashed her away.
これで対戦相手は消えたな。それではこれで、今日らも旅支度を整えられるがよい。我が領地にて。もう何も催しは予定されていない。それではごきげんよう。さらばだ。
Without saying anything more, Beto clouded her own form in darkness as well and disappeared.
あんた、これでいいわけ？バトラ、消えちゃったわよ。
Hopium tanks critically low, definitely.
負けず嫌いのあんたが、この結末でいいわけ？あんたは、私の負けに張ってたんでしょ？なら万々歳じゃない。
She's not, because this is now how she wanted to win. Yes, the truth is very flexible in how you want to use it. Indeed. Indeed it is.
おめでとう、ラムダ。じゃあ、またどこかの世界で会いましょう。まあ、無限のかけら世界のこと。どこかでまたご縁がある確率は、それこそ、1000兆分の1よりも少ないでしょうけれど。
Leave it to Umineko to dilute the meaning of truth more than things like, I don't know, politics or something completely atrocious. Oh lord. Lambda wins the cute and pop witch. Cute and pop super pig. Yeah.
じゃあね。楽しかったわ。バイバイ。
Chasing after Burn Castle, who had disappeared first, Lambda Delta disappeared as well. But wasn't Burn supposed to be caught in a cage by the game? So that's not... That's not happening? Or is it? Because Lambda should have won, but Burn just disappeared. I'm so confused. Then after everyone had disappeared, there was no one left in the study. Yeah, I know why Lambda had stakes in the game. She clearly explained them, especially when it came to NJ. But I'm not entirely sure I understand the effect that that has on Lambda's purpose. She wants an endless tie, I know. But a game that's left unresolved, that's not equivalent to it for her purposes. So Lambda won, but Burn is not imprisoned? Or is she? I've confused. But Burn has lost as in right now there's just no game anymore. I understand that part. Anyway. I'm just not sure how it reflects on the status of Burn being trapped as well. Is she still trapped? Is she not? With Lambda 1 she should be, but yet it seems that Burn can just disappear at will, so she is... I don't get it. We'll learn more about them later. Okay. Aha. So Lambda won, but she didn't win. And Burn lost, but she actually didn't lose fully. Okay, see, it's great. It's just perfect Umineko example. With no game, there's nothing holding Burn there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I was saying both of these together. Don't they negate each other? Or do they? They exist at the same time. Okay. It seems like we're getting to the I'm so confused part of Umineko. That's constant. But high toss status. Right. It returned to silence, almost as though no one had been there from the beginning. No one was here in the first place. The silent study told of that wordlessly, and the sound of the wind and rain began to fill the room bit by bit. In a world where everything had sunk into darkness, Beato questioned herself.
やはり魔法は初めからマリアージュ・ソルシエールの中だけで。
そうだね。マリアもエンジェの時にそう思ったよ。
魔女同盟はわらわとそなた、その二人で始めた。他のものを混ぜようというのが
こんなにも楽しいから。マリアたちはその輪に親しい誰かを加えたかったよね。
You like the music? I like the melodic part of it, but I find the parts that sound like people talking a little bit weird, unsettling. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I'm used to it now because we've heard it multiple times, but the first time I just was so... it was so weird. They have given you all the information one needs to solve Beto's riddle in the first 3 games. Props to those who do it. You are the big brains. I'm just here for the ride. I hope that's fine too.
そうして魔女同盟がどこまでも大きくなって、みんなで楽しく魔法が使えて幸せになれたらと願った。だが
魔法を理解できるのはやはりわらわとそなたの二人だけだった。
私たちは奇跡が巡り合わせたこの世界でたった2人しかいない魔女なんだよ。マリアはもうベアとさえいれば他には誰もいらないよ。
わらわもだ。そなたさえいればもう誰もいらぬ。
マリアージュ・ソルシエールは結成したその一番最初の時点でもう完成していたんだよ。
そうで、まさにそうであるな。
It was a witch's alliance to make everyone happy together with magic. I wonder when it got this screwed up. What was I trying to do when I started this game? I can't really remember even that. No, I may remember, but that's a feeling I now wish to throw away to the far side of oblivion.
いいよ。何もかも忘れてしまおう。2人だけのマリアージュ・ソルシエール。私たちは互いを認め合う。そして誰にも傷つけられない。だからもう傷つかない。泣かない。すべて忘れよう。 ね、
How convenient.
私たちは永遠だよ。
マリア。
Time skip and funky music. Okay.
天草、それ切ってくれる？
Oh god, yes.
おっと、そりゃ失礼。エムザッキーはお嫌いで？
今が気分じゃないだけ。
Amakusa turned the radio off. The world of cheery sounds was immediately swallowed up by the roar of the sea, and blotted out by the ocean's grey.
見えるかい？あの辺が当時の船着き場だ。
Diegetic music in my visual. I like the music though. I was not expecting it, but yeah, it was good after the confusion moment, at least a chill thing. But anyway, Enji does the singing to it. To be fair, if I was heading to a remote island where my entire family was murdered, I probably wouldn't feel in the mood for it either. Angel listens to My Chemical Romance. I love My Chemical Romance. The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall how it looked 12 years ago. I had believed that my memories of back then would come flooding back into my mind, but no memories were coming back to me at all. Three Doors Down in 3 Days Grace. My Chemical Romance in 1998. Just how there was Cardcaptor Sakura referenced within the frame of the 80s, we can reference My Chemical Romance in 1998. It's fine. Wait, really? Or are you kidding, Dazzling? Because I don't know this stuff. I just listened to the music. After the incident, the island was sealed off and left to the wild. Probably that's understandable. I had to tell myself to stop myself from feeling somehow sad and hurt. Of course, okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to assume, you know. But I at least remember one thing. You could say that it would probably be the same anywhere on the sea, but at least this one thing I do remember. The cries of the seabirds. I do remember those. I mean, good for you, because nobody else heard them. I almost never went to the ocean when I was young, so to me everything that symbolized the ocean meant Rokkenjima and my family getting together. In short, it was a symbol for the happiness of going out with my family. However, at this point in time, it even seems doubtful whether that was happiness at all. In my younger days, the trip had felt like a relaxed family vacation, but considering my parents' situation at the time, it was surely a very difficult trip to handle, with the distribution of the inheritance filling the place with the smell of flaring tempers and fuses about to blow. I can remember giggling all over the place, completely ignorant of my parents' feelings.
六軒島ですかい。すべての始まりで、すべての旅の終着駅って。
Amakusa tried to hard in an attempt to speak from my innermost feelings. The boat slowly rounded the island. As the angle changed, I hoped that my memories of the island's silhouette at the time might come back just a little. But in the end, even as the inlet was completely hidden by the cliffs, I wasn't able to remember anything.
船長、さっきのもう一つの船着き場の話を聞かせてください。
六軒島には船着き場は一つしかないことになっとる。だがそれは表向きだ。
島裏のもう一つの隠された船着き場、六軒島そのものね。誰も知らない二つ目のもう一つの顔がある。
六軒島は後ろ宮家の領有する島だ。だが金蔵さん個人が所有する島というもう一つの顔がある。
一つの島、
2つの船着き場、2つの屋敷。愛人を囲うためだけに随分と金をかけたもんだ。
もう一つの船着き場のことを知る人間は？
限られとる。金蔵さん、執事の源氏さん、わしら船の関係者、高齢の使用人がほんの数人だ。南城診療所の先代先生も熊沢のばあさんも知っとった。数えりゃ結構いるような気がするが、とにかく知っている人間はわずかだった。
So, Kinzo knew, Genji knew, the boat people, Nanjo and Kumasawa Ba-san. Okay.
そのもう一つの屋敷について教えてください。
クワドリアンちゅう名前のお屋敷があるとだけは聞かされとった。わしは船を離れることを許されんかったから一度も見たことはないが。
船着き場からは見えないくらいに遠いということ。
わからん。ただ隠し屋敷だからな。外からは見えん場所に建ててあったろうな。とにかくクワドリアンについてはあの島の最高の秘密だった。
クワドリアンにベアトリーチェが住まわされていた、あるいは幽閉されていたという説がありますが、船長はどう考えますか？
わしはクワドリアンへの雑貨も運んでおった。その中に女しか使わんような、それも高級なもんが含まれることも多かった。
I still can't put together exactly how this all fits, but having more and more details corroborating the idea that there was someone, maybe trapped is not the right word, but someone just living there completely disconnected from everyone else. It just fills me with such a weird feeling.
わしもその説を確信しとる。
では船長はベアトリーチェって女を直接見たことはないわけですかい？
ない。20年近く出入りをしたが一度も見たことはない。
20年？ひゅー。ってことは最低でも年齢プラス20ってわけだ。こりゃマドモアゼルは期待できねえな。
だがクワドリアンへの出入りはある日を境にぷっつりとなくなっちまった。
I wouldn't have thought about it that way, Tostaters.
今からだいたい30年前だから昭和43年頃だったと思う。
It stopped in 68.
ぷっつりと突然？
食料やゴミなどの運搬往来でわしらは決められた日程で裏に行っとった。ああ、裏っちゅうのはクワドリアン側の船着き場のことだ。
わかります。それで？
ある日源氏さんから急な連絡があった。別の指示があるまで裏には行かなくていいって言うんだ。
別の指示とは？
特にはなかった。早い話がある日突然裏には今後定期便はいらない、食料も届けなくていいと言われたわけだ。わしは最初クビにされたのかと思ったよ。だがすぐに気づいた。それにクワドリアンのことを知る使用人たちの様子からもなんとなく察しがついた。
ベアトリーチェが死んで食料を届ける必要も世話人を送る必要も。
わしはそう考えとる。それっきり裏へ船を出せという指示は受けてない。しかし裏については死ぬまで何も喋るなと。その後源氏さんが直接わしのところへ来てえらく強く念を押した。
その20年間も放置されていた隠し屋敷にどうしてエヴァおばさんが？
On that day, 12 years ago, Ushiromiya Eva somehow escaped harm alone, in a hidden mansion 2 kilometers away from the regular mansion. Why was she in a hidden mansion that had been forgotten for 20 years?
ワイドショーで見たよ。わしにも何が何だかさっぱりわからん。 エヴァさんを裏へ案内したことは一度もない。どうやってクアドリアンを知り、たどり着いたのか。
裏のクアドリアンに陸路で行くことは不可能だったのかしら。
もしも話通りに未開の密林だとしたら、おめかしした奥様風情に踏破できるもんじゃありませんぜ。
じゃあ回路は？モーターボートみたいなものがあったとか？
まさか。あの二晩の台風は、そりゃひどいもんだった。船なんぞ使えるわけもない。
I'm just imagining. Kinzo sneaking out of the house to go see his Beatrice, jumping into a motorboat, going around the island, and then coming back. I don't know why it's the most ridiculous image in my head. Whatever.
じゃあ屋敷とクアドリアンを直通する、例えば地下通路のようなものがあったとか、愛人の家へ出入りするのに毎回船の用立てが必要なんて面倒でしょ。
Something Kinzo would do for Beatrice, anything. But still ridiculous.
全長 2km の六軒島の対角線上に存在する屋敷をつなぐために、そんだけの長い地下トンネルを
I know, right?
とバカにしてえところだが、愛人のために隠し屋敷まで作っちまう大富豪だ。
A good one. Definitely more precious than the One Piece.
それも否定できんところですね。どうなんですか、船長。
わしは海の人間だ。穴のことはわからん。だが、硫黄島で旧日本軍は25キロのトンネルを掘ってみせたぞ。あの金蔵さんなら2キロくらい掘ってみせても、わしは何も驚かん。
やっぱりおかしな島ね。私たちはこの島のことを未だ誰一人何も知らない。
The boat reached the shore. There would be a short walk to reach the mansion.
わしはここで待っている。屋敷は向こうだ。当時の道が残っているだろうが、草木で覆われてしまってるはずだ。
For some reason, I'm very stressed out.
迷わんように気をつけてな。
ほんじゃ行きましょうかね。
ありがとう、天草。
Here we are at Journey's End, like the chapter's name.
あんたもここで待ってて。
ま、そう言い出すんじゃないかと思ってましたぜ。
届け物をするだけよ。あなたが一緒だと向こうが迷惑するの。あんたの毒素強そうだから。
毒素？はて。
すぐに戻るわ。
I love the song though.
今日の本命はクアドリアンの方だもの。届け物をしたらすぐに戻ってくるわ。
Angel put on her knapsack and grabbed the flowers she was planning to offer.
察してやれ、若いの。行ってこい、お嬢ちゃん。
I get it, but still, this is like a bad horror movie when the character decides, "I'm gonna go alone. Don't come with me." That really doesn't sound like a good idea. The place where Angel wanted to die, but now she has a new mission to show everyone the battler and Renault fanfiction she found in the shack pact. Oh, desolate.
あんたの家族が待っている。
Like, I get it, it's an intimate moment for her, but you know, Amakusa could just, you know, turn around and not necessarily look, but just be nearby. I had never been on a road like this, but I had no trouble finding my way. If I walked straight ahead, it would probably guide me to the final destination for everything. The vegetation certainly was incredible, and you would lose track of the path if you were careless enough to let your attention drift. But the road that was left was much better than I had imagined. Still, that didn't change the fact that it was a bad road. Contrary to the distance shown on the map, I was forced to walk a long way. The forest was deep and dark. At the time, I had been threatened into staying away from the forest because a witch lived there. Of course, that fear is gone now, but I feel it. Other people may not be able to, but I can feel the presence like an aura of the Golden Witch Beatrice. Massive, oddly shaped rocks scattered here and there, overgrown trees and ivy, the voices of birds and bugs. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel that the witch is here. Ahead, an ivy-covered construction site fence and warning signs stood. No entry, Tokyo Metropolis. Iris Moth has the revelation. That was written on it. Oh, right. When you think Tokyo, you tend to think of a city. But address-wise, even Rokkenjima is a rightful part of Tokyo Metropolis. Apologizing to the sign for my mistaken impression, I climbed over the fence. She apologized to the sign. I love her. When I made it up the steep slope beyond that, my field of vision rapidly expanded, and a fresh sea breeze blew through my hair. It was like the top of a little hill. Below me was a vast view of the island. I could only see desolated forest and rocky crags spread out below me. But somehow I realized that the mansion was probably somewhere around there. The steep downward slope beyond this hill had probably been caused by landslides from 12 years of wind and rain. Sorry, sign, yeah. It had become a slant filled with crags that you might even call gentle cliffs. And though it would be easy to tumble down, it looked like climbing back would be pretty difficult. It seemed that proceeding any further would be impossible. If I continued any further, I wouldn't be able to return. In other words, this is the border between 1986 and 1998. That day and today. And this world and the other.
ここがこの旅の終着点みたいね。
The mansion looks different. I think we've just seen the cliffs, no? As the strong wind blew Mamon and Sakutaro's hair, they looked down from the hilltop.
ここからじゃさっぱりわからないわ。お屋敷はどこ？もっと近づきましょうよ。
You need love to see the mansion. Okay.
無理だよ。戻ってこれなくなっちゃうよ。
We won't be able to come back. Oh. He's right. This is 1998, and I am the Ushiromiya Enji who has been left all alone. At first it was a journey to die, but not anymore. It has become a journey to accomplish something.
うん。だからごめんね。二人ともあの日の私なら何も戸惑わずにこの崖を降りるだろうけれど。
ビルの屋上から飛び降りた後宮エンジェが情けない。
ごめんね。
ここでも同じだよ。あの日の風が感じられるから。
I mean, I'm glad anyone is getting something out of this, because all I'm getting is just more question marks that just keep piling and piling. Do I remember the kids having to go down a cliff to reach the mansion? No. In which context? In which mansion are we talking about?
こんな風だったっけ？うん。もうすぐ来てくれるよ。みんな。
Sakutaro said it as though it was completely natural. And I believed it. Mom, Dad, Oni-chan. All of my relatives and those fun servants. and Maria One-chan.
私よ、エンジェよ。私は帰ってきたわ。
When I started my final journey to expose the past of 12 years ago, its goal had been abstract and I hadn't understood. But now I have no doubts. This journey was induced by all kinds of thoughts and fates over 12 years. A journey to end things, for me, Ushiromiya Enje. And a journey to end things as the final witch of Mariage Sorcière. I came here as the final daughter of the Ushiromiya family, and as the final witch.
お父さん、お母さん、お兄ちゃん。ごめんね。先に、マリアお姉ちゃんとの挨拶をさせてね。
A strong gust of wind from behind urged me on. That gust took just my soul out from inside my body, to the vast forest beneath me. And though I couldn't see it from where I stood, I believed that it would fly me to the mansion on that day. To where everyone was, to where Maria One-chan was. And so, even though my body was on the top of the hill, a strong wind blowing against me, my soul was now certainly dancing through that sky. The vast, vast sky of Rokkenjin. Below me was the green of many trees, but I can tell, I can comprehend the presences of my family and relatives and all the servants, and Maria One-chan too. I could even comprehend Maria One-chan as a witch. It was vast, more vast than any space I had imagined up until now.
マリアお姉ちゃん、聞こえる？聞いて。
Enji shouted to the Maria of that day that she had been through a long journey, and that she had learned just how much she had wounded Maria on that day when she was young. Having understood magic, I now understand everything about the world Maria wanted to show me. It is so warm and overflowing with kindness and happiness. She had wanted to become even happier by sharing that world, but I had trampled it.
だから私、今こそ全部理解したの。魔法を理解した。私たちの魔法はきっと、とてもささやかで、身近に溢れてる。
A humble thing. I like that.
でも、それは誰の目にも見えるものではないのよ。魔法とは、ええ、はっきり言えるわ。
Without love, it cannot be seen. I'm sorry, One-chan. I've already been excommunicated from the Witches' Alliance, but after all this time, I now understand how wonderful it is. And I know that after that day I wounded you, Mariage Sorcière was transfigured into something different from what you truly desired. Back in those days, even magic that allowed you to vent your anger by cursing people was probably important to you. Your environment was unhappy enough for you to be allowed that.
でも、
Yeah, this track is really good. I like it a lot.
もう、そんな悲しい日々は終わったよ。
It also is hopeful, so I really need it.
だから、お姉ちゃんの魔女同盟を、元の、優しいマリアージュ・ソルシエルに。
The grimoire was in my hands without me realizing it. The strong winds were rapidly blowing its pages one after another. It had been a kind world at first. What to do to create magic so that candy rains from the sky? What to do to create magic so that tomorrow's dinner becomes cream croquettes? What to do to create magic so that tomorrow's weather is good when you go out and you have a fun day? New magics of happiness were created one after another, coloring her world with kindness. Those days were flipped through one after another, and the days and months began to flash by like memories. The pages with drawings that were colorful gradually changed into pages colored only with blank ink. Eerie magic circles and demon summonings. Evil magic for harming people. What to do to create magic so that the class bully catches a cold? What to do to create magic so that you know who in class gets seriously injured and dies? What to do to create magic so that the bus with all the bullies on it falls off a cliff? Malicious magics were created one after another, filling the pages in her heart.
私がお姉ちゃんを傷つけたから。
You did hurt her. But it's not fair to say that was the one and only thing that led to this. There was a lot of unhappiness in her life. I guess this was just like, you know, the drop that filled the glass or something. The thought that Maria got twisted so much by her surroundings, yeah, it breaks me too.
マリアージュ・ソルシエルはこんなになってしまった。お姉ちゃんは黒き邪悪な魔女じゃない。白き無垢で無邪気な優しい魔女だったの。私が元に戻してあげる。元のみんなを幸せにする魔法を世界中に振りまいていたマリアお姉ちゃんに戻してあげる。
Angel remembered her sin. I have a lot of feelings about that too. But again.
そのために私はここへ来た。運命に導かれてきた。お姉ちゃん、聞こえてる？
It might be a small thing for us, but it was a huge thing for Maria and Ninja. No, of course, I totally understand that it had a big impact for both of them. And it's all fine for Ninja to understand that, hey, I did that thing. I didn't really think much about it, but to this other person, it meant so much and it hurt her to this extent. And so I regret it and I'm really sorry, and, you know, she's doing all of this to kind of redeem herself. And at the same time, it just feels like she's taking on a weight of responsibility that is not really proportional. But I do understand it from the perspective of the person who wronged someone else. You don't get to say, you know, like any sort of how do I put it? If you're really sorry about it, you don't get now to don't start weighing just how wrong you were. You were just wrong. And take responsibility for it, and it's great. And I love her for it, and she's amazing, and yeah, all the good stuff about her. But just as an external entity, what did she do? She was a kid, and she didn't believe in the whole magic blabbing of Maria, which we don't really fully know. Exactly what Maria told her or showed her or anything. We just know that Enja reacted in a bit of a dismissive way. And Enja was much younger than Maria. She was just a kid. You know, she has attenuating circumstances too. She didn't do it maliciously. Like, it's not Enja doing that, the thing that turned Maria's heart dark and evil. It probably contributed to tipping the scale. I will agree to that. It's just... it pains me, because I don't see Enja as guilty and responsible for this as the novel kind of makes her out to be. Anyway. If she feels like she has to do this, then it's, that's on her, I guess. Yeah, exactly. I said it. If that's what she feels like, all the power to her, or the greatness to her. I love her. I just also feel bad for her. I feel bad for Maria for the things that happened to her, and I also feel bad for Enja. Feeling bad. It's more something she's doing for herself than for Maria to find conclusion. You mean closure? Yeah, she's great. Well, what we've seen so far of her, I loved every single second. That's okay. I get it. It's fine. Okay, let's move on.
その姿を私の前に見せて。
Oh my Cafe. That voice rode an even stronger wind and was sent 12 years into the past. Then the wind gradually ceased and silence fell. I could hear the sound of gravel being stepped on. I heard those footsteps and was surprised at that miracle. Without a doubt, those footsteps were Maria One-chan's. Okay.
マリアお姉ちゃんかすみよ
Yeah, I was about to say, I think this might be reality about to slap you in the face. Remember when I said that you shouldn't go alone? That Amakusa should at least be somewhere in the vicinity? Yeah. Ah, hell no. Yes. Pain. The moment pain is here. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. I dislike this woman so much.
ようやく見つけたわよエンジェちゃん
Yeah, call for help all the way across this entire distance that she has crossed. Oh, God damn it. Before I knew it, Aunt Kasumi and her black suits, a total of 7 people who didn't resemble Maria One-chan in the slightest. Surely she'll be surprisingly nice. Yeah. She'll just invite her over for tea. Whatever that means. Yeah, we're standing there surrounding me, and it felt like my voice had been just about to reach Maria One-chan too. Because of this guy's toxin, the magic got interrupted. Anja clicked her tongue at that, but Kasumi probably didn't hear it that way.
そのお花は亡くなった家族への偉いわそれ投げるんでしょいいわよそれまで待ってあげる
Before what? Anja could more or less guess. The way the black suits had their hands unnaturally stuck into their pockets made me realize that they were obviously in possession of handguns. Wouldn't it be nice if you also had someone nearby who was in the possession of something similar? No? I guess if that happened, then we wouldn't have a story. So. What if she actually invites her for tea, like for real? I still don't understand what tea means. It's definitely not just tea with Kasumi. This is a deserted island. There could be no more convenient place to dispose of someone. What if it's no handguns but tea sets? It's not tea sets. I have absolutely no interest in the family matters of the Sumadera family. But if I die, all of that wealth will roll right into the Sumadera family coffers. Desolate hoping thanks overloading. Unlike me, they probably have a great deal of interest in it. Tea or the Epic of Alexander and I don't know, Final Fantasy XIV? I don't play Final Fantasy XIV. Just MMOers doing MMO things. Okay. Of course, the Ushiromiya group has a stake in this too. It seems that if the massive amounts of stock I own suddenly go to the Sumaderas, it will be pretty bad for the Ushiromiya group as well. And so they've apparently gotten themselves embroiled in a secret feud over me. I can't believe Kasumi was planning a picnic for Angel and Rokenchi. The hopium is strong with you, Dezo. That's probably why President Okonogi gave me Amakusa as a guard. Yeah. And you told him to stay on the freaking boat. I hope to God he didn't take you seriously and he followed you or something. Because, having Amakusa wait on the boat was a regretful, you think?
おばさん、いつからここで待ち伏せを？
早朝からよ。
Ah, poor thing.
おかげですっかり待ちくたびれちゃったわ。何しろ喫茶店もお化粧室もないからね。
トイレもないから、お上品に木陰で用を済ませていたわけね。
You had to say it out loud.
仮にもスマデラ家の血を半分引いてる淑女が、そんな汚らわしい言葉を使うんじゃないわ。やっぱりスマデラ切り絵の子ね。気品のかけらもありゃしない。
She grabbed me by the hair and forced my face up to hers, and then spat in it. Oh. I hate this woman. I'm deciding right now. I didn't think there would be a character that would rise up such strong emotions in me. More than Beatrice, but with Beatrice it's not necessarily, it's never hate, it's just like annoyance and her beating around the bush and her doing things the Beatrice way, which is convoluted and fickle and almost bipolar in a way, and just Beatrice things, right? And it annoys me, but I don't hate her. But this, it taps into something that what if she spat delicious lemonade in her face? Oh, this one. My words are filthy, but her spit's not to be undone. Not to be outdone. Sorry.
おばさんが私のことを話すと、いつも母さんのことばかり。私、そんなにも母さんに似てますか？
ええ、似ているわ。その生意気そうな目つき。鼻も口もそっくりよ。自由奔放で無責任。歴史と伝統あるスマデラ家の重みなど何も考えず、自分勝手に家を飛び出したわ。おかげで、私の人生はずっとその尻拭い。
She's always smelling. She can't be bad. It's exactly that. She is the kind of person who coats the poison with a layer of honey. That's the kind of thing that always gets under my skin and gets me feeling like this. And with people in real life too. They're so fake. God. We found the Antichrist. I can't cope as hard as Chad at this one. But the thing about her is like she's not using that honey on top of the poison to kind of mask everything. She is like, the honey is see-through. You can see there's poison through it. Yes, she still chooses that added layer. And it's that annoys me. And surfaces all of these things.
まさにあんたの人生、クソまみれね。
I was slapped on the cheek, my ear took a heavy hit, and for an instant my head rang. Kasumi honeypot, something like that. She pulled me around by the hair and threw me onto the ground. Yeah. And without a moment's pause, she kicked the ground, covering me in sand.
ああ、本当に姉さんに似てきたわ。その目つき。そのどこか小馬鹿にした目つきよ。はあ、思い出すわ、いろいろと。
She's obviously been through a lot, but none of that is justification for what she's doing to NJ.
哀れな人ね。きっと幼い頃から何かにつけて母さんに比較されて蔑まされてきたんでしょうに。そしてあんたは一生その惨めさから解放されやしないわ。
That's a good observation.
お前みたいな小娘にはわからないわよ。あんたのお母さんはね、 何もかもを投げ出してスマデラ家を逃げ出した負け犬なのよ。
And you've decided to make that your entire identity. Like your entire life just revolves around what Kiria did, isn't it?
その負け犬のせいで私がどれほど迷惑したことか。
あんたの迷惑なんか私の知ったこっちゃないわ。
I mean, in her mind it does, because you're her daughter, and so her being like this towards you is like her taking revenge on what was done unto her.
私の生まれる前の話をされても困るわよ。
We had this conversation about bullies, bullied people becoming the bullies themselves and all of that jazz.
あんたの人生はいつ始まるの？
Good question.
始まりゃしないわ。いつまでもいつまでも永久に死んだ母さんに嘲笑われ続け、そのまま死ぬのよ。というか死ねばなんで生きてるの？
この口の減らないガキが。
Ooh, she opened her eyes. Oh no.
あんたたちちょいとお茶をしてやりなさいな。
Oh no. There's the tea.
お任せを。口の利き方も知らねえクソガキが。少し勉強させてやるぜ。
The black suits dashed up to me, violently grabbed me by the collar and dragged me down.
私が一服終えるまでに適当にかわいいメイにちょいと身の程を教えてあげなさい。
Such amazing men. Great. Fantastic. Smadera Kasmi. She was a pitiable person, to think of it. To the outside world, the women of the Smadera family were trained to be in a position to support and defer to the men in the prominent positions. But in actuality, strong leadership was demanded of them so that they could manage all of the people under them. The role demanded of them was that of a female commander. Taking charge of the Smadera family with all its proud history required an extraordinary level of commanding presence. It was an unimaginably heavy responsibility. Normally this would have been demanded of Kirie. Kirie hadn't undergone that harsh training, and Kasumi, as the younger sister, should have been able to just take it easy. No, in fact, she had lived like a lazy, selfish, and affluent princess, sneering at Kirie, who had been given the heavy responsibility. However, Kirie was suddenly disinherited. She had refused the fiancé her parents had arranged and had gotten pregnant by her lover Ushiromiya Rudolph. From the Smadera family's perspective, even though the Ushiromiya family held a vast fortune, it was a family which had already collapsed, a family not in their league. And to become not even a legal wife but a lover to the second son of that family, normally no one would be shown mercy for something so dishonorable, not even a daughter of the main family. They would wrap her up in a mat, stand a pole on end, and throw her either into the Pacific Ocean if the pole fell to the right, or the Sea of Japan if it fell to the left. But Kirie's punishment was nothing but disinheritance, an unbelievably lenient decision. After that, the Smadera family began receiving preferential treatment from a section of the Ushiromiya group. There must have been some kind of backroom deal. In other words, Kirie took advantage of the Ushiromiya family's financial support to leave the Smadera family openly. And she is just envious and bitter at Kirie because she got out of the situation that she didn't want to be in. Kasumi watched it happen in shock. No, she even disparaged her dishonorable sister as a loser. Kirie was really the smartest. She paved the path for herself. But eventually, she learned that the heavy responsibilities Kirie had borne would be passed on to her. And then for the first time she realized that she had been outwitted.
あんたの母親のせいで私の人生はめちゃめちゃにされたわ。
I mean, I get it, and at the same time, I don't think Kiria did it with the intention of putting stuff onto her sister's shoulders. I think Kiria just made the decision about her own life, and that's all that she could control. Our lives at the end of the day are within our own control. So she did that, and yeah. I can see where Kasumi is coming from. Obviously it's neither Kiria's nor Enja's actual fault, but that's what hate and abuse will do to you. Yeah, I get it, but I also, like, I would have seen it, or maybe that's just me. I would have seen Kiria's successful getting out of the family situation as a ray of hope, as an indication that if you don't like this, then you don't have to put up with it either. Right? So, at the end of the day, what should Kiria have done? Also have figured out something for her sister's life? I don't know if that was really her responsibility. Throw Kasumi under the bus. I always thought that Kasumi might also feel deeply hurt by having been betrayed by her sister, but there's no proof of that. But she definitely resents her for all of these things. I just think it's a little bit misplaced, because it's incredibly easy to just throw everything towards Kiria and say it's your fault. That's all. Anyway.
いいえ、一度殺されたと言ってもいい。あの日に私は一度殺されて地獄のような日々に突き落とされたのよ。
それまで人生舐めてきたツケじゃない。
I mean, props to Enja for still talking back even in this situation.
口の減らねえ小娘だぜ。うら!
You're such a manly man, beating down on a teenage girl. Good job. Well done. You're teaching her, aren't you? The blacksmith punched me in the gut and I doubled over. But I was quickly grabbed by the collar and made to stand up again. As she continued to cold-heartedly look down upon Enji, Kasumi blew out smoke. The hard days after Kiria left were floating through her mind. Until then, she had been allowed to be simply a rich young lady, unrestrained and unaffected. Only Kiria, the oldest sister, had been strictly trained, and she, the younger sister, had been able to live as nothing more than a princess. Also, what kind of message does that send? That, like, your sister needs to go through all of this to be worthy of this high position and responsibility that she has to uphold and whatever. But you, yeah, you can just be a pretty face. It's fine. We don't expect anything from you. How is that better? Anyway. Then suddenly everything was turned over to such a degree that her life tumbled and crashed.
私の人生も生活も生き方も
You think
何も
there's
かも奪われたわ。事情を知らない親類からは姉さんの不名誉を理由にどれだけ蔑まれたことか。呪ったわ。あなたのお母さんを血を吐くほどに呪ったわよ。
そりゃ嬉しいわ。これからもよろしく。
Enja is savage. A kick landed in Enja's side as she lay prostrate on the ground. Enja didn't stand up again, so she continued to lie there like a caterpillar, getting kicked every time she spoke up.
姉さんを後宮グループのパーティーで見かけたわ。あいつ旦那と一緒でとても幸せそうに笑う。私に全部を押し付けて自分だけ幸せに。
だから何？私に八つ当たりすると どうあんたが幸せになるってわけ？私に八つ当たりすると、時間が巻き戻って、歴史が変わったりしてくれるわけ。
あんた、さっき言ったわね。私の人生はいつ始まるのって、いくら恨んでも八つ当たりしても、時間を巻き戻すことなんてできない。じゃあ私は死ぬまでこうして、死んでもなお姉さんを恨み続けて？冗談じゃないわ。いつまで私は姉さんの亡霊に苛まれてなきゃならないのよ。だから考えたのよ。これを成し遂げたら、すべての恨みを忘れて、やり直せるってね。
Asking the right questions, yes. How long should you be tormented by this? Well, as long as you decide to allow yourself to be tormented by it, of course. It is within your control. You cannot control what happened to you, but you can control how you react to it and how you live your life in the aftermath of it. It is in your hands. And yet, the answer to the questions are correct. The answers are just misguided. Smartest Kasumi line of thought. The guards are actually protecting Kasumi from Enja's roasts. This time I can stop. This time it will be enough addicted to the drug called hate. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's this, like, if I can do this grandiose thing in which I take revenge for the things that happened to me, after that I should be good. No, you won't. Generally, you won't. That's not how it works. Enja was about to respond to this with another bitter comment, but stopped. Because she would be kicked again if she responded. Even if Kasumi didn't say anymore, it wasn't difficult to imagine what she meant. Kasumi was thinking of bringing an end to her hatred of Kirie by taking revenge against her daughter Enja. Talk about pushing your problems on other people.
ほら、立ちなさいよ。そんなにこの島が大好きなら。その若さで死にたくないでしょ？母が迷惑をかけてすみませんでしたとか。
誰が言うもんか。
You wish, yeah.
エンジ様、ダメ！
I mean, Amakusa, if you're hiding in a bush somewhere, it's starting to be time for you to come out, man. Please. Please. It's the one shred of hope that I'm clinging to. Please.
こいつらを挑発しちゃダメです！ここは表向きだけでも、調子を合わせて時間を稼ぐべきです！
くだらないプライドは燃えないゴミの火に出しとけってよく言うわね。
Go along with them? Doesn't this sound reminiscent of the incident with classmates? Hmm?
天草さんは、天草さんが来てくれればきっと。
Wasn't that also a case of misplaced hatred? They are jumping Enja so hard she's seeing plushy ghosts.
ダメ！あいつの姿は見えないわ。エンジ様のバカ！どうして天草を置いてきたんです？
I don't need you to tell me that, Mammon. I'm already right in the middle of regretting it. I walked a long way to get here. The forest was very thick. There's no way that the disturbance here will reach the boat. As Kasumi took her sweet time smoking that single cigarette down to the filter, I was continuously laid into by the black suits however they deemed fit. The moment I grabbed my head to protect it, the top of my head was kicked by someone at a bad angle, and my head filled with stars. This feeling of stars flickering in a world twisted with grey was one I knew well. My life was very similar to the one Sumadera Kasumi led. Okay, this one. But you mean the chapter, not the episode, just to clarify. Okay. Because I was tormented constantly with all kinds of bullying under the guise of education and training to make me a worthy successor to the Ushiromiya family. Yes. Having the inside of my head filled with stars like this is a feeling I know well. The episode 2, kinda, alright. When being reprimanded for some error in manners I seemed to have made, the lecturer always turned to whether I was fitting to be the successor to the Ushiromiya family or not. On and on about the honor of the Ushiromiya family and how important it was. By the time her rant reached that point, I would forget what mistake I was being blamed for in the first place. No, actually, it was the same way for Aunt Eva too. After all, sometimes she would ask herself, what was I saying again? But in the end, she wouldn't be able to remember. It would say something like,
私が怒っているということは、きっとエンジェが何か悪いことをしたのだろう。
Again and again, the wheel that keeps on spinning, passed on from generation to generation.
なら、その悪いことが問題なのであって、何をしたかなんて今さら思い出せなくても問題ない。
There'd be some ridiculous reasoning like that, and then she would continue punishing me. Yes. Aunt Eva's punishments weren't something that would continue until I learned something. Oh man, Automod is on a roll today. You used the word climax, Dezo. Automod did not like it. Crackhead Eva sprite, yeah, it's creepy, those eyes. A thematical climax of the cycle of abuse is a very apt way to put it. Yeah, well. Apparently, to the people on the internet, it mostly has a certain meaning, and so Automod is wary of it. Right, so her punishments weren't something that would continue until I learned something or acknowledged my mistake or apologized. They would continue until Aunt Eva wanted to stop. So even this violence was a bit nostalgic in a way that made me want to vomit. Oh man, that face. It's like it's wrong. I opened my eyes and oh look, there's Aunt Eva. Right next to Kasumi, who was smoking her cigarette. I could see Aunt Eva, the two of them looking almost as though they were laughing at me together. When I think about it, Aunt Eva's life might be worthy of sympathy. The responsibilities and pressures of a member of the Ushiromiya family, which she had so often mentioned to me, were all things that she herself had suffered. And so you have to inflict that suffering onto others. Yeah. Because people cannot voice insults that they have never been subjected to themselves. Oh, that's such a hard line. Yeah. Aww. It was probably the same way for our Aunt Rosa as well. As the youngest child of the glorious Ushiromiya family, she must have gone through many tough times. So just as Aunt Eva acted towards me, and just as Sumadera Kasumi is acting right now, Aunt Rosa must also have been the same. This chapter is where I broke and cried, a manly man cry. Good. Some things you shouldn't bottle inside. Enja keeps speaking facts, Miriam. See, she's amazing. This part did hit me pretty hard. Kind of put my mild anger issues into context. Yeah. Yeah. It's all a cycle. It's all a cycle. I want to believe that it is not our natural predisposition to inflict pain and hurt others. But we learn it because it's inflicted onto us. And then if we're not careful, we go and repeat it and inflict it onto others. Yeah. People push the suffering they have been made to bear onto other people. Okay. Yeah, exactly what I've been saying. It's so difficult to break that cycle, and the easy way out is always so tempting. Yes. Yes. Yes, it's very difficult. That's why I have a certain reserve of empathy towards these characters. I do also reserve the right to still dislike Kasumi. Because she's so over the top right now, and things that she's doing to NJ, who I like immensely, are pushing me in that direction. But I do understand. I do understand where it's coming from. It doesn't absolve anyone of their guilt, it just explains how it came to this point. Exactly. Otherwise, they can never escape from it. So on in eternity and perpetuity, the chain of suffering and sadness never ends. This is the reason Maria One-chan's magic was so incredible. Exactly. With her magic, she did not have to bear the suffering from Aunt Rosa. That pain was probably pushed onto her. Its weight probably tormented her. But One-chan did not carry that burden on her own shoulders. She exorcised it and filled her world with happiness. That's why it was so amazing and special. So I'm sure that even if Maria One-chan had had children in the future, she would never have pushed the suffering force down through the generations onto them. The chain of suffering and sadness, which had been inherited by and forced upon each generation for who knows how long, was, by Maria One-chan's magic, broken.
なーに？私に何か文句でもあるの？
In the past, I would have snapped back and cancelled out her hatred with hatred of my own. No, I cancelled out nothing. The weight of that which had been forced onto her bears down hard on my shoulders as well. Oh, bam. After all, even now, I hate her. So, now that I knew of magic, I looked at the human called Ushiromiya Eva again. What I could see through to was the sad form of a human, no different from me, who had lost her family and who bore deep wounds in her heart. Unable to withstand the pain of that torn heart, she was doing nothing except howling with a sad voice, like a lion crying in pain, like a child. It turns out Ushiromiya Eva was also a person deserving of compassion. She had needed someone to understand the difficulties and pain of her childhood days, and she too, as the only survivor of the Rokkenjima incident, who was faced with the inquisitive eyes of all of society, who was publicly slandered, who had salt continually rubbed into her wounds, had needed someone's compassion. In order to let her forget her pain and sorrow for at least a moment, the Black Witch, the very same that possessed Aunt Rosa, taught her magic. It was the same magic of anger and sadness that Beatrice had taught Maria One-chan when she was mourning for Sakutaro after he was torn apart. That same magic, that witch, had surely dwelled inside Aunt Rosa too. So I was wrong to hate Ushiromiya Eva. Perhaps. I alone was supposed to have become her ally, the only person in the world who could understand her. What did I say to her when I was young, when she returned alive all alone? Could it be that the way I acted towards her was as if she had come back by herself after killing all my family? I can't believe it. Aunt Eva, who throughout my life has never been more than an object of and synonym for hatred, is turning into a human who I can understand. And so, I looked right next to Aunt Eva, at the form of the Black Witch who taught her the black magic. Aunt Eva was crying. It was only natural. Not only did she have no one who could understand her pain of having lost her husband and son all at once, but even I, her only relative, insulted her, saying, "Give me back my mom and dad." I can make the excuse that it was the mercilessness of youth. But to her at the time, that was probably cruel enough to sever her heart's last thread. I mean, Angie was 6, a child who had lost her parents and her brother, a little bit of a tall responsibility to put on her shoulders at the time, right? Because it's only natural also for her, right? To see Angie as a human and as a child at the time, that she would have that reaction. Yeah? Tragedy all over the place, yeah. Yeah. In the following days, the talk shows and magazines publicly slandered her. The truths of her late husband's business and character, and even those about her beloved son, were denied. She no longer had anything left. She could do nothing but cry and howl, trying to forget the pain and sadness for just a few moments. Because only while howling could she feel the slightest bit of release. And so the Black Witch taught her how to howl. The one I hated was the Black Witch. The black magic probably did release her from that suffering for just a short time. I think it numbed her to it. I think that's what it does. It doesn't release you. I think it imprisons you further. Because then the only way that you feel like you can escape is to keep doing it. Because while you're doing it, you're distracting yourself from thinking about it, right? The metaphor here with the Black Witch and the black magic just shows, yes. Yeah, it's very good. However, it would never lift that weight from her shoulders, see? Yeah. To the contrary, it would force their weight on further victims. Yeah, exactly. Filling the world with the weight of hatred. We call it Twitter nowadays. I think we call it X nowadays. For some weird reason that I can't understand. If Aunt Eva was to have a true witch nearby, one who knew of white magic, wasn't that supposed to be me? Oh, how precious of her. Twixter. Okay, now you made me crave Twix. I can't have sweets. I will go to bed with this image in my head of the sweets that I can't have. I had learned the magic to create happiness from Maria Onechan. If I could have saved her with that magic, might we not have built up a future with a completely different relationship? All this time, I have hated Aunt Eva. So I never noticed the Black Witch beside her. Without love, it couldn't be seen. I didn't have any love for her. The person next who committed the crimes was Twitter. Good one, Bea. Wingless time, we now become seagulls. Aww. So now finally, I'll glare at the Black Witch, the one I truly should hate.
あら？何？私のことが見えるの？
見えるわ。私が憎むべきはエヴァおばさんじゃなかった。あんたよ。
すごいじゃない。人間の分際で魔女の私が見えるなんてね。それでその目つきは何だと言いたいわけ？私が憎い？
憎い？ええ、憎いわ。でも少し違う。ただ悲しく思える。
悲しい？何言ってんの？いいじゃない、怒れば。思いっきり憎んじゃえば？
憎まないわ。あんたを憎むことはエヴァおばさんの憎しみをそのまま受け継ぐだけ。私は憎しみを断ち切る。エヴァおばさんの苦しみを受け止め、それを払って捨てるの。
何悟ったようなこと言ってるわけ？こいつ頭大丈夫？っていうか、へそでも噛んで死んじゃえば？あんたら、もっともっと蹴ってやりなさい。顔とかはダメよ。気の毒な顔がマシになっちゃったらつまんないから。
It was Elon all along. Oh man. Oh man, AJ. The black suits persistently kicked my stomach and back, as though they had been ordered to by the Black Witch.
やれやれ。答えないね。私をじーっと見ちゃって。私が憎い。
NJ's having her protagonist moment, while also being beaten to a pulp. Yeah. She's so cool.
憎いでしょ？私もよ。
Yeah, a great deal of a good that does to you. Kasumi sneered at me, but for some reason I had the feeling that she was crying behind that expression. How better person like of NJ to look at the one who ordered her to be beaten while taking that beating and have these thoughts. NJ is a treasure that must be protected at all costs. NJ is too nice. The goat, yes. Are there any NJ's the culprit theories? Yeah, she killed everyone when she was 6 years old and nowhere near the island. Definitely that was it. It's something that can really change your perception of people. True magic. Yeah. I feel that in a way, like, I do like the metaphor of it being magic and, you know, it's something that we ourselves can create and put out into the world and it's a positive force to be reckoned with. But I would also want to not delve too much into this, let's say, labeling of it as magic, because then I feel like it undermines a little bit the strength of character that one has to have to manifest this. And yeah, this speaks very loudly about NJ, that she's able to reach this point. It's very cool. She's had a life just as unfair as mine forced upon her, and the pain of that never ever heals. The sad lion continues to howl, gasping in pain from the thorn he can't get out.
ほら、スマデラかすみ、見てごらんなさい。
NJ killed everyone with Trap X. I refuse to explain mechanism of a trap. Pretty much this novel, it encapsulates it perfectly.
かつてのあんたがそこにいるわ。 気分が晴れるでしょう。かつてそこにいたあなたが、今度はこっち側にいるのよ。愉快でしょう。立場が逆になるのは。
本当に愉快だわ。
Does it though? Of course, Angie traveled back in time with the DeLorean. She leaves the car inside home. Turned on and the carbon monoxide gas killed her. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect.
なんでそんな顔ができるのよ。エンジェ、泣きなさいよ。泣きたいんでしょ。
そうそう、泣きたいに決まってる。泣かせちゃいなさいって。あの時のあんたは泣かされちゃったじゃない。だからこいつも泣かせてやりなさいよ。エンジェもいいのよ。泣いちゃえば。
泣きなさいよ、エンジェ。あんたの泣き顔が見たいのよ。泣いて、ごめんなさい、かすみおばさんって言ってごらんなさいよ。
そう、その言葉を言わせるのよ。あの言葉、辛いでしょ？自分のせいじゃないことを謝らせられるのって本当に辛かったでしょ？同じ思いをさせてやるのよ。そうすることであなたの痛みは和らげることができるの。
Yes, catharsis.
そうよ。それでいいのよ。
Of the fake kind. Drug that gets you hooked and you can not have enough of.
もっと自分に素直になりなさい。もっともっといっぱいに自分の感情を吐き出しちゃえば。
The Black Witch stirred Kasumi up, and Kasumi began to give herself over to that dark emotion. She was doing nothing more than turning her deep sadness into a cheap booze and forcing it down, trying to forget for just a brief moment. The words Kasumi insulted me with were themselves sad, and I couldn't forgive the Black Witch for taking advantage of Kasumi's sadness. Yep, it's really good. Painful. Good. Perfectly describes the novel itself, I guess. I had gone limp on the ground, which seemed to have sapped the black suits of their enthusiasm for kicking. Oh, that's when they stopped. Okay. Or maybe the kickers had finally gotten tired too. Kasumi hadn't ordered them to stop, but at some point the violence had halted. However, I was reflected in Kasumi's eyes, and they were burning me with flames of hatred. She had been tempted by the witch into doing that in order to relieve her own pain.
スマデラかすみ、まだよ。まだまだ踏みにじりなさい。あなたの人生はこんなほんのちょっとの乱暴で許せるの？
許せないわよ。まだこれくらいでは許せないんだから。
でしょ？許せるわけがない。もっとよ。もっと憎悪の炎を。憎しみの炎でしかあなたは暖を取れないの。怒りと悲しみの雪原で凍えるあなたを温められる炎は憎しみだけなのよ。ほら言って。叫んで。憎しみの方向で自分を燃やし尽くしちゃえば。
後ろ宮エンジェー！あんたを憎まなくちゃ私は生きてられないの。
スマデラかすみ、あの花束を。これ、死んだ家族への花でしょ？
The Black Witch grinned at me unpleasantly and used her chin to signal Kasumi to pick them up. Kasumi picked up the flowers I was going to offer, brought them all the way over to me, dropped them in front of me, and made a show of trampling them. Ah! Good job. Her expression was filled with hatred and a frantic quality that simple hatred couldn't explain. It was as if trampling them over and over again was the only way to prevent the sadness inside her from reaching the bursting point. So the sound of her trampling was downright sad.
あら、この程度じゃ答えない？ならこっちは答えるかしら。スマデラかすみ、こっちを使いなさい。ダメ、それは。
Okay, we're seeing her as a human with love. We're understanding all of these things. Sure, we're explaining it away. The Black Witch, yeah, but we draw the line at this. For this, I think we should fight a little bit. No, not that. Not that. The object the Black Witch pointed at was Maria Onechan's grimoire. Kasumi also noticed it and picked up that book, which was heavier than it looked.
なにこれ。
読んじゃえばお腹がよじれちゃうかもね。
Kasumi opened the grimoire, skimmed over the contents, and snorted derisively.
返して、それはお姉ちゃんの。
Of course, my hand couldn't reach. My stomach was once again kicked by the black suits and I curled up on the ground.
ほらね、この本は演者にとっての大切なものでしょ。大切なものをけなしてやりなさい。こういう子には殴る蹴るよりもそっちの方が効くんだから。あなたがそれを一番よく知っているでしょ。
Kasumi's face twisted for an instant, as though remembering something painful. But that quickly disappeared, changing into a scornful smile directed towards me.
なにこの気持ち悪い本。あんたが書いたの？
やめて。返して。見てよ、あの顔。もっとけなしてやりなさい。貶としめてやりなさい。尊厳を踏みにじられる苦痛を教えてやるのよ。そうすることでしかあなたの苦痛は和らがないの。何こ
れ、恥ずかしい本。少女の時代に多少は占いの真似事に興味を持つこともあるけれど、これはちょっと行き過ぎじゃない？やだ、魔法だって。あんたあれでしょ、アニメとかのなんとかなんとかって呪文を言いながら魔女に変身するやつ。ああいうの好きなんでしょ。痛々しいわ。
Cackling, Kasumi opened to a random page and showed it to the black suits. The black suits looked too and guffawed. Man, I need to look up that word. I keep forgetting about it. That laughter wouldn't wound me. But I couldn't forgive it. After all, that laughter was ridiculing Maria Onechan. I don't hate Kasumi, or exploiting Kasumi's unhealing anger and sadness. I cannot forgive the Black Witch. That Black Witch ate into Aunt Eva, Smadera Kasumi, and Aunt Rosa, tormenting them for an eternity without letting their wounds be healed. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive the Black Witch.
何これ、傑作。お空から飴玉を降らせる魔法ですって。なになに、お日様で清めたお水にお砂糖を溶いて魔法の杖を浸して呪文を。なにこれ。痛い。
The black suits also rolled around. Then, grinning, the Black Witch whispered something into Kasumi's ear. Then, after glaring at me with a grin, Kasumi took that page. No. No. No way she said cringe in this translation. It seems she did. Kasumi grabbed hold of that page, tore it out, crumpled it up, and threw it away.
ひどいよ。それはマリアの魔法。あら、そうなの？ それはお気の毒。
It was one of the magics to summon happiness that Maria had made with Sakura. Anyone knows that making sugar water, coloring it with paint, and leaving it by the window isn't going to make candy rain from the sky. But after repeating that every day, one time when she got back from school, she found several pieces of candy scattered around that place. How happy must that miracle have made Maria One-chan? What good care she must have taken of those candies, savoring them during her nights all alone with Sakura, to distract herself from her loneliness. That magic which One-chan had created was torn out, thrown away, and disappeared. The entire miracle of happiness created by that magic she tore out and threw away.
これも傑作だわ。晩ご飯をクリームコロッケにする魔法。次は何？ピーマンが美味しく食べられる魔法？これも生かすわ。バカバカしい。
I know that magic, it's spices. The proper ones.
それも破いちゃいなさいよ。どんどん破いちゃえば。
With a cruel-hearted, loud laugh, the Black Witch made her tear out Maria One-chan's magics one after another. She sneered at those happy magics, ripped them out, and threw them away.
やめろ！やめろ！マリア教の魔法を怪我すな！汚い毒素で怪我すんじゃない！
Maman cried and yelled, but she had no way of reaching Kasumi.
いいじゃない。怪我されちゃえば。魔法の奇跡？幸せにする魔法？ないない、そんなのないってば。痛みと苦しみはね、他人に押し付けてしか癒せないのよ。あんたは確か魔法のお友達とかいうやつだったわよね。スマデラかすみ、こいつのページを開きなさい。
これは何？魔法のお友達ですって？煉獄の七姉妹？物騒な名前。すごい速さで飛んで敵をやっつけてくれるんですって。エンジェ、あなたこんな魔法が使えるなら今すぐ使った方がいいんじゃない？くだらない。
The pages that wrote of the seven sisters of purgatory were also heartlessly torn away. The pages themselves were just paper. They weren't Mamon's vessel or anything. But the tearing, denying toxin burned Mamon from the inside. Mamon's face twisted from the heat and pain.
大丈夫、マモン。しっかり。これくらい平気。私よりエンジェ様の方が。
However, Mamon's expression was twisted in unbearable pain and humiliation.
やめろ、黒き魔女！どうして君はそんなことをするんだよ！どうして！魔法幸せの…ああ、あんたも魔法のお友達ね。あんたも怪我してあげるわ。スマデラかすみ、こいつのページも探しなさい。
こっちは何？何この下手くそなライオンの落書き。
Oh, I'm sorry. Go hang out with your cousins. It's okay. You can catch up on this later.
作太郎？
Oh no. How much longer does this
変な
go?
名前。一番大好きなお友達だって。そうなの？これがあんたの友達？親友？このライオンが？ねえねえ。
本当に下手くそな落書き。こんなブサイクなライオンがあんたなのね。こんなのを友達にしてるなんて、後ろ宮マリアってこの頭のかわいそうさに呆れてへそでお茶が湧いちゃうわ。
about 50 minutes left. I don't know, I'm looking for a stopping point in about 5 minutes. So I cannot finish it tonight. It's way over the time limit. But oh man. There really isn't a good stopping point. Oh, no.
へそかんで死んじゃえば。ウリュマリアをバカにするな。やめて。破かないで。ダメ。
There was a shrill tearing sound, and the page was filthily ripped out. The picture of Sakutaro that One-chan had drawn was violently ripped in half. Obeying the pair, the black suits laughed crudely and heartlessly trampled all over the paper that had been torn and thrown away.
サクタロ、しっかり。僕は悲しくなんかないよ。ただ悔しい。マリアのことをバカにされて何も言えない自分が悔しい。私たちは見えない人間には私たちは必要としてくれる人間としか。だから家具。
As Sakutaro and Mamoru supported each other, they slumped down, sobbing. I couldn't stand it either. Only those who can see the world of magic can understand how wonderful it is. It can't be explained to humans who can't understand. And so it is mocked. If only you could show it, but you can't. Because in front of humans who are filled with the anti-magic toxin and who can't understand magic, magic cannot be used.
本当にわけがわかんないわ。この妄想日記、頭がおかしいとしか思えない。あんたのお花畑の頭の中が垣間見えて本当に面白いわ。気持ち悪い子。
あんたもマリアもそこのぬいぐるみと家具もね。
おかしいわ。あんた友達いないんでしょ。いっつも一人ぼっちでぬいぐるみがお友達なんでしょ。かわいそうな子。大丈夫。私にもわかるわよ。そういう生活わかるもん。だから私が認めてあげるわ。あんた本当にかわいそうな子よ。
Oh, it's alright. Please don't worry. I'll finish up in a few minutes anyway, so you're not gonna miss much. It's okay. Take care. Thank you so much for dropping by. Whenever you manage to see this, if you do manage to see it later in the VOD or something, yeah. Oh man, the pain. So to you, she looks like a pitiful child. Yes, I'm sure she does. If 100 people were to read One-chan's diary and grimoire, all 100 would probably get that same impression. I used to be one of them. Pain me, Neko, yep. But you know, in spite of all that, Maria One-chan still called this a world of happiness. Don't deny that magic, that happiness.
頑固な子ね、あんたは。いいわ。これで最後よ。
Oh, no.
あんたとマリアの信じた本当にくだらない魔法の根源を引き裂いてあげるわよ。
Oh
スマ
no.
デラかすみ、そのページを読みなさい。
なにこのカラフルなページは。なになに大好きなママといつまでも仲良しでいられる魔法。
やめて、そのページだけは。
へえ、この魔法すんごく簡単じゃない。私でもすぐできそうだわ。こんなに短い呪文なら私にだって覚えられちゃう。やってみようかしら。
いいわよ、やってあげなさい。みんなも吹き出しちゃうから。
With expressions that ridiculed it from the bottoms of their hearts, the Black Witch and Kasumi puckered their lips in the most exaggerated way they could, and said it aloud.
うう。
The black suit stared blankly, asking what that was supposed to be. Then Kasumi answered, cackling.
これがね、呪文なんだって。おかしい。
ほら、あんたたちもやってみれば。
The black suits imitated that moaning voice, making fun of it. You're saying it all wrong. She kept saying it over and over. She did, didn't she? Ooh. That was the incantation for the magic that would let her always be friends with the mama she loved.
なにこのバカみたいなの。うう言うだけで家族仲が良くなるなら世界はずっと平和だわ。バカなうなり声。
こんなの連呼してたら頭のかわいそうなこと思われるのがオチよ。
バカじゃない
やめろ、その魔法だけはけなさないで。
I think this is a good point. If we're gonna have like a story from the past or whatever, maybe it's, yeah. Okay. That's enough pain for one. I am out of save slots and I tried to... Man, we started on the 9th of May. I tried to delete the already existing saves, but apparently it doesn't work. So I'm just gonna go and overwrite them the way I know Bea doesn't like me doing. But this is what we have. It's okay. Okay, we leave it here. Oof. Okay. Enough pain. Enough pain. I get it. Oh lord. The ooh reveal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I have words. I guess we'll see where that goes. I do have hope that something will stand up or fight against this. Something will come to Enja's aid. I'm sorry, Superman. You have to. Oh, yeah, Tostators. Yeah. The ooh scene broke me. The sudden realization of the reason Maria kept screaming it every time Rosa beat Maria in chapter 1. I understand, Chitorin. Are you coming more from a place of being upset on behalf of NJ and maybe respectively Maria for the pain that was inflicted onto them? Because I can understand that. I'm also not incredibly keen on seeing Kasumi with love, although I understand, okay, I get it, you know, be the better person and so on, and it's very cool to see NJ get to that point. NJ, who was kind of numb to everything around her when, you know, we basically first saw her and what she was experiencing and so on. It's a long way for her to come, right? So I feel a lot of respect and appreciation for her. But I am upset on behalf of her, for sure. Oh, Dezo is interested. Most first-time readers want to hit Maria themselves. I mean, I get it. In terms of this was Maria's inner projection of I want to be friends with mom. But I do understand also that the way she was using it was obsessive and at some point a bit ear grating. We did note on that in the beginning, right? So it does speak to the power of how much she really wanted to make that into a reality. And she's just a child, right? So what can you you can't blame her for the situation, and everything is Rosa's responsibility, I would say. But I do understand that doing it this obsessively can, for some people, just completely miss the mark, right? Because then all they're left with is the annoyance of it, like, ah. I see Chidorin. Got it. So it's more in terms of how the scene was built rather than what the scene was about. Okay, I understand that. NJ in this chapter be like, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you, to one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also, and from the one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your tunic either. Is that the passage from the Bible? No, I understand. It's the pain is really drawn out in the scene. I guess the author believed it necessary because a lot of things were introduced so far, and this is kind of like the culmination and something that ties everything together. Probably wanted to just really drill on the point that he's making. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I understand you then. It's alright. Alright. Yeah. I guess we leave the pain here for tonight. It's enough. Oh. It's sleepy time now. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming along. I feel incredibly blessed and grateful that I have you by my side. This would never have been as fun as it is, even through the pain, if I were doing it myself. So I will never get tired of saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's okay. I always am flexible when the scene is important. But I had to cut it somewhere. Yeah. Same place tomorrow, next Nizumi Thursday. Yes. Yes, yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much again. Love you all. Take care. Nurse your pain. And I guess I'll see you for more on Thursday. Yeah. Bye bye. Good night. Love you.